Awaken to miraculous blessings, a divine morning prayer for supernatural guidance and healing. The sun broke through the misty remnants of night, painting the sky with hues of gold and purple. In the quaint village nestled among rolling hills, whispers of the miraculous danced in the air as if the very heavens were leaning in to listen. Mary, a devoted mother, felt it deeply, a stirring, a pull toward something greater. It was a morning like no other, a divine appointment awaiting to unfold. With every breath of the village, Mary's heart raced as she gathered David close, the laughter of her 10-year-old son almost a memory now, hushed by the weight of illness that clung to them like shadows. A terminal diagnosis had shattered her world, leaving doctors baffled and hope hanging by a thread. But in this sacred space by the St. Agnes shrine, miracles were born. Could this day be different? As she stood before the flickering candles in the church, the scent of warm wax mingled with the scent of fresh blooms. Father Thomas, who had walked with them through years of faith, shared stories of miracles from not just this village, but from beyond. Sick restored, barren lands bearing fruit, souls redeemed. If we pray with fervent hearts, he reminded them, the heavens will respond. Those words echoed in Mary's heart, igniting a fierce hope. Then came the elder, Miss Agatha, with her ancient eyes gleaming. The mountains can move with but a whisper of faith, she declared, raising her arms as though to beckon the clouds. The air thickened, pregnant with divine promise, and the congregation felt the weight of her words sink deep into their souls, a gentle spark igniting a roaring flame of belief. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As dawn began to rise, Mary felt a tremor within her, a battle between despair and hope. She gathered the community beneath the ancient oak outside the church. Join me in prayer for David, she urged, her voice trembling but resolute. Around her, hands clasped together, hearts aligned toward the heavens. The whispers of prayers ascended, merging into one harmonious plea, echoing against the hills. Suddenly, a brilliant light broke through the clouds, illuminating the faces uplifted in faith. Gasps of awe filled the air as if golden beams were piercing through the fabric of reality itself. A joy long forgotten began to bubble in Mary's chest, while tears brimmed in the corners of her eyes. Has hope returned? But as the prayers continued, a fear clawed at her insides. Would it be enough? Just when faith began to dance in her heart, doubt whispered hauntingly about lost moments and fading miracles. Was today the day they would witness the extraordinary or simply embrace another unanswered prayer? The air crackled with a tangible energy, and the community fell silent, their eyes focused above, anticipating what the Father might reveal. Was this divine touch a promise or merely a fleeting sign meant to test their faith? Whatever it was, Mary felt a shift, a promise emerging from the depths of uncertainty. Throughout the village, the echoes of their prayer lingered, mingling with the rustling leaves, leaving an inviting mystery in the wake of their devotion. The unfolding of their story awaited, brimming with divine potential, as Mary felt the dawning of something miraculous just over the horizon. The villagers stood in quiet anticipation, their hearts resonating with Mary's fervor. As the light danced in the sky, birds began to take flight, filling the air with a chorus of song that seemed to blend with their prayers. It was as though creation itself was responding to their call, a divine symphony echoing across the hills. Lord, hear our prayers, Mary whispered, her voice barely breaking the silence, yet strong enough to carry the weight of her desperation. Each word fell from her lips, every plea steeped in urgency, every breath a testament to her unwavering faith. David stirred in her arms, a flicker of hope igniting in his sleepy eyes. Mom? He murmured, blinking against the brilliance above. Seeing the congregation gathered around him, a spark of curiosity replaced his earlier exhaustion. Mary smiled down at him, her heart torn between joy and worry. Yes, my love, we are praying for you, she replied, her tone warm but edged with the rawness of emotion. As the moments passed, stillness enveloped the group. Mary's focus sharpened, her heart racing faster as she lifted her gaze into the luminous sky. Miss Agatha's words danced in her mind. The mountains can move with but a whisper of faith. Could it truly be possible? Could their collective faith summon a miracle unforeseen? Suddenly, low rumbling thunder rolled in the distance, startling some of the villagers from their reveries. It was no ordinary storm, this resonated with an otherworldly vibration, drawing their attention further upward. Mary's breath caught in her throat as her spirit soared in anticipation. The clouds began to swirl, parting like a veil pulled aside to unveil a divine secret. "Look!" A voice gasped from the crowd, fingers pointing skyward. The murmurs rippled through the gathering, excitement mingling with fear. A figure emerged from the light, a silhouette gently floating down, haloed in radiant brilliance. The villagers gasped, awestruck, as they witnessed this ethereal vision. "Fear not." The figure spoke, its voice like a melody woven through the air, resonating with an unmatched clarity. "Your prayers have been heard." Mary's heart raced, tears now streaming down her cheeks. In that moment, doubt was swallowed by an overwhelming surge of hope. She squeezed David tightly, clutching him as if to shield his innocence from the harshness of the world. "Mom, who is that?" David's voice trembled, caught somewhere between wonder and apprehension. "It's an angel, sweetheart," Mary whispered, feeling a warm presence enveloping them. The congregation fell to their knees, humble before the divine, hearts laid bare in unabashed faith. "Each of you gathered here today holds a piece of my heart," the figure continued, "and your faith is a beacon that lights the way. Miracles are born where love and belief converge." The villagers exchanged glances, a mixture of disbelief and hope reflected in their wide eyes. Could it be true? Could their humble community, held together by love, stand on the brink of a miracle, a transformation birthed from the fusion of their prayers? Just then, an unexpected gust of wind rolled through the crowd, sending chills dancing across their skin. The light brightened, and Mary felt her heart quicken again, a silent plea echoing within. Was this the moment they had longed for? As she lifted her hands in response, she sensed something shifting in the atmosphere. "Today is not just about healing," the figure declared, pausing, "it's about awakening." Awakening. The word hung heavy in the air, resonating deeply within Mary's spirit. The reality of their bond was more profound than she had known. But what did it mean for her, for David? What new journey was unfolding before them? As she pondered, the light prepared to fade, swirling back into the heavens, leaving behind an energy that pulsed through the very soil of their village. Mary felt a gentle whisper in her heart, urging her to seek deeper truths. The divine appointment wasn't merely for healing, it held the promise of a much greater revelation. What awaited them on this journey of faith? What should they prepare for next? A sense of exhilarating uncertainty flooded her soul as the first steps of this miraculous path beckoned them onward. As the radiant figure faded into the ether, the villagers remained in holy awe, their hearts collectively beating to the rhythm of newfound hope. Mary knelt there, the cool grass beneath her a reminder of earthly ties even amidst the celestial. She felt David snuggling closer, his trusting heart resting against her shoulder. It was as if their connection, pure and innocent, was an anchor amidst swirling uncertainty. The wind eased, and a palpable stillness ensued, allowing each soul to soak in the divine presence. Awakening. That word tugged at them, like a gentle breeze stirring spring leaves. But what was its true meaning? Mary's mind skimmed through stories from the elders, tales of awakening that had transformed lives, revered amongst their community for generations. A soft voice piped up from the gathering. "Do you feel it? That warmth blooming inside?" It was Ruth, a dear neighbor known for her kindness. Heads nodded as everyone acknowledged the sense of belonging that enveloped them. Each of them wrestled with questions that ignited a fire in their hearts. Mary closed her eyes, embracing the warmth. "Yes, Ruth. It's like we are all being drawn together, like threads woven into a single tapestry." Maybe it's time, another voice interjected from behind. It was Thomas, a quiet man whose wisdom often went unnoticed. His brow furrowed as he gazed into the horizon. Maybe it's time we step out into the thing we've been waiting for. To act in faith. His words rippled through the crowd. To act in faith, they resonated deeply, stirring something vast within. Awakenings do not linger in stillness, they beckon action. Mary felt her heart lurch at the consideration. What does that mean for us? Uncertainty danced in her words, but still, her spirit lifted with every echo of hope around her. Perhaps we should gather regularly, suggested Martha, a mother with a fierce passion for prayer. Create a community of faith where we can share our burdens, our joys. Where we can pray, openly, boldly. Unity. That was the heartbeat of their village, long forgotten in the busy day-to-day. It was as if the gathering itself recognized the sacred potential swirling among them, like a potter preparing a vessel for new creation. Yes. Mary echoed, excitement bubbling forth. To share in prayer, to uplift each other. We can awaken to the promises that await us. Just then, the afternoon sun dipped lower, casting a golden glow across the villagers. The sacred light returned fleetingly, kissing them with warmth. Like gentle encouragement from above, it confirmed what they had begun to recognize. This awakening was not simply a personal journey but a calling that beckoned unity. With hearts ignited, Mary took a step forward. Let us pray together. For our village, for our health and our faith. For this awakening to root deep within us. They huddled together, their arms interlocked, a web of love and hope, a testament to the lives woven as one. Closing her eyes, Mary felt the energy pulsate through them all. God, take our hands as we step into your light. Let us, guide us, awaken us to your divine path. May our faith not falter but grow. Bless our hearts and bond our spirits, draw us closer to your purpose. The villagers breathed in unity, their collective voices rising higher. A harmony of hopes ventured into the heavens, a potent prayer for transformation that would not only heal them but shift the spirit of their community. As the last notes of their prayer lingered in the air, something deep within Mary sensed a stirring. The ground beneath them felt charged, as if the very soil cradling their village became a warm embrace of hope. David turned to her, eyes alight with innocent curiosity. Mom, does this mean we're changing? Yes, love, she replied, wiping away her joyful tears, we're awakening to a beautiful promise. But as the sun set and night wove its blanket of quiet, Mary couldn't shake the question that fluttered in her heart. What transformations awaited them as they stepped into this calling of divine unity? What deeper revelations lay hidden just beyond the horizon? The wind seemed to whisper secrets, and her heart raced with the unknowing. As the night deepened, a sacred stillness enveloped the village. The glow of the setting sun melted into the horizon, draping the world in shades of violet and gold. It was a tableau of heavenly promise, one that felt as if it had been painted by divine hands. Mary sat there, wrapped in her son's warmth, her spirit alight with anticipation. In this tranquil moment, a distant sound reached Mary's ears, gentle murmurs flitting through the village as neighbors began to find their way to the common meeting place. Lanterns flickered to life one by one, illuminating faces filled with hope and curiosity. Each villager carried their own burdens, their own dreams, but now they all shared a unified flame within. Thomas stepped forward again, his presence steady. Friends, he called out, his voice calm yet resonant. We have felt the stirrings of change. We are called to bow our heads in prayer, to seek the guidance of the one who calls us together. He gestured toward the open sky, where the first stars twinkled like distant promises. A chorus of souls rallied in agreement, their hearts swelling with a palpable sense of purpose. Ruth took Mary's hand, squeezing it tight. Let us approach this sacred moment with belief, for our prayers can shape the very fabric of our lives, she urged, her voice rising with fervor. They formed a loose circle, illuminated by the soft glow of lanterns and sprinkled starlight. Unity blossomed among them, each person contributing their individual aspirations and worries. As voices blended, it was like a symphony empowering each prayer, each wish uplifted to the heavens. Mary took a breath, grounding herself in the moment. Heavenly Father, she began, her voice steady, guide us as we embrace this new chapter. We are hungry for your light, thirsty for the wisdom that only you can provide. There was an energy coursing through them, a shared urgency that surged in the night air. Teach us, called out Martha, her eyes shimmering with zeal. To love one another like we have never done before. To put aside fear and embrace your calling. The strength of her declaration sent ripples through the gathering, and a chorus of amen resonated. With each heartfelt prayer, they began to envision the changes awaiting them, each offering a glimpse of divine awakening. The atmosphere grew thick with expectant energy. It was as if the air itself vibrated with the momentum of collective faith, resonating with hope. Let us not forget those alone in their struggles, added Thomas, his voice deeply introspective. May our awakening inspire healing in those overlooked, those in pain. Their fight is our fight. Their victory is our victory. They bowed their heads together, a powerful force of compassion bound by the desire for collective elevation. The stars above twinkled brighter as tears streamed down Mary's cheeks, a warm rush of grateful emotion swelling in her heart. In that sacred space, Mary felt her spirit connect with something greater. The weight of their past struggles began to lift, like fog dissipating at dawn. Their burdens became mere shadows before the bright fire of faith, and amidst their prayer, Mary sensed a change was coming, something that had been long awaited. It was a call to action, to be bearers of hope and transformation not just for themselves but for their entire village. As the prayers intertwined and echoed into the night, a gentle breeze brought with it whispers that felt like promises. Mary paused, staring into the darkness beyond the flickering lantern light. What awaited them as they stepped into this divine current? What miraculous blessings would grace their paths? Just then, a sudden gust swept through the gathering, rustling the leaves nearby, a sensation of motion, life, and awakening. Mary caught a breath, knowing their journey was just beginning, and something remarkable was about to unfold. In the quiet stillness that followed, the last echoes of their prayers hung in the air, shimmering like the stars above. Mary remained rooted in her place, feeling the gentle hum of energy coursing through her. She closed her eyes, allowing the whisper of the wind to touch her skin, a reminder of the unseen yet ever-present divine. It was not just the night, but a promise wrapped in the fabric of dawn. As the hours passed, the village remained in this sacred assembly. The lanterns flickered, their light dancing like fireflies, guiding each heart's desire upward. Around her, faces shone with expectation, eyes glistening with tears, smiles breaking through the weight of worry. It was a gathering of souls, woven together by the threads of hope and love, yearning for something more. The sudden gust that had brushed through could not be ignored. It brought with it a fragrance of damp earth and blooming flowers, as if the very world was breathing in anticipation of what was to come. Mary opened her eyes, allowing the cool night air to refresh her spirit. She turned to her neighbors, whose faces mirrored her own sense of awakening. "Can you feel it?" she whispered to Ruth, who stood beside her. Ruth nodded, her expression serious but lit with joy. "It is as if divinity is stirring all around us. We are poised on the edge of something unimaginable." Thomas raised his arms, inviting silence, and the gathering complied, their murmurs fading to a gentle hush. "Do not shy away from this moment, dear friends," he implored. "What we feel is a call to step forth." As he spoke, the first hints of dawn began to grace the horizon, painting the sky in soft hues of pink and orange. It was a gentle reminder of God's faithfulness, of day breaking after the longest night. Mary felt a surge of warmth as she recognized the beauty of transformation. This was more than a mere transition, it was a divine assurance that light follows darkness. "Let us pray once more," Thomas urged, his voice steady. "As the sun rises, let it illuminate our hearts with clarity and strength. May we carry forward the light of our prayers into the day, igniting hope in every corner of our village." Each person closed their eyes again, absorbing the presence of the dawn. Mary began to pray fervently, "Father, as the light breaks, Let our hearts become vessels of your love, let our hands carry healing, let our feet guide us to those in need. Martha added, her voice passionate, fill us with courage to stand against despair. Where there is strife, let us bring peace. Where shadows linger, ignite our sparks of warmth and kindness. The energy grew, filling the tranquil morning with purpose and excitement as one by one they lifted their voices, surrendering fears and desires alike. With each shared prayer, the air pulsed with a vibrant light, illuminating not only the gathering but the paths they would tread once the sun fully rose. As the dawn bathed the village in golden light, Mary opened her eyes to see a figure approaching from the far end of the clearing. The figure carried no lantern, but rather a light that seemed to stem from within. Who is that? She wondered, her heart racing. The air grew charged with expectation. The villagers turned to catch a glimpse, curiosity mingled with trepidation. Could this stranger be a part of the divine awakening they had been praying for? Would this encounter change the very fabric of their lives? The moment hung in the air, electric with possibility, as the stranger drew closer. As the figure stepped into the warm embrace of dawn, the villagers squinted, drawn closer by an unspoken magnetism. The light emanating from the stranger was unlike anything they had witnessed. It pierced through the morning fog, illuminating the faces around Mary with an ethereal glow. Mary's heart raced. Was this the answer to their prayers? She felt an indescribable pull towards the stranger, who walked with a grace that seemed almost out of time. His clothes flowed softly around him, reflecting the sun's golden rays like rippling water. There was a peace about him, a stillness that settled over the gathering as he approached. "Fear not," the stranger spoke, his voice warm and soothing, like the first light of day. "You have gathered in faith, and in faith, you shall be answered." A wave of calm surged through the crowd, as if each heart beat a little faster in joyful anticipation. "What brings you here?" Thomas finally asked, his usual confidence painted with a hint of wonder. The question hung delicately in the air. The stranger smiled gently, the corners of his eyes crinkling like warm bread fresh from the oven. "I am here because your prayers have drawn me. I come not just to observe but to share the grace that flows from your collective hearts." With those words, the villagers exchanged glances, their eyes wide with belief and awe. Could it be true? Were they truly worthy of such divine attention? Mary felt a shiver of recognition. Their unity and hope had invited this luminous visitant. "Let us reflect on our intentions," the stranger continued. "What do you seek in this moment of light breaking upon your village?" One by one, villagers spoke up. Martha's voice trembled. "We wish for healing in our community, courage against the dark shadows of despair." A murmur of agreement echoed around the clearing as others shared their desires. "Strength for the weary," another voice chimed in. "Wisdom to guide the lost," murmured an elderly gentleman. Each wish intertwined with hope, creating a tapestry of longing and devotion. The stranger listened, his aura pulsating softly with each prayer uttered. "Remember," he said, "your wishes are not merely requests. They are seeds planted in faith, awaiting the waters of love to flourish." Mary felt a swell of warmth wash over her, like rain nurturing dry ground. She understood now, this meeting was not a moment to passively witness, it was an invitation to actively participate in the miracle unfolding before them. "Close your eyes," the stranger instructed gently. "Breathe deeply and let the light of your prayers surround you, transcending beyond your hopes. Envision it reaching out to the world." As they obeyed, Mary envisioned rivers of light pouring from them, uniting in a vast ocean of brilliance. Each drop transformed into a blessing, flowing to every corner of their village, healing wounds unseen. The atmosphere thickened, a glorious hum vibrating through the air, as if the heavens were tuning into their harmonious desires. "It's happening," someone whispered, eyes still closed, feeling the shift. "I can feel it." With their hearts open and voices silent, a collective pulse reverberated within them, a harmony singing of unity and love. The dawn now vibrated, shimmering with purpose, telling them that their binding prayer was indeed heard. Suddenly, a burst of joy erupted at the edges of the crowd. A child laughed, twirling in the light, as if the heavens themselves were celebrating. Just as this wave of joy unfurled, the stranger turned to Mary, his gaze piercing yet compassionate. "Have faith, for what is in your hearts will unfurl unexpectedly. God's plan is always greater than what we perceive." As he spoke, shadows shifted, and the sun glared brightly, casting a warm embrace over the entire gathering. But before Mary could process his words, the stranger beckoned them towards something moving beyond the trees. "What lies beyond?" Mary asked, a whisper of excitement mingled with trepidation. "Something that may change your lives forever," he replied, as the horizon glimmered with an invitation to the next chapter of their unfolding destiny. As the villagers stood at the edge of their gathered faith, hearts buzzing with anticipation, the stranger began to walk toward the trees. Each step he took was deliberate, yet light, as though carrying both grace and purpose. Mary felt an urge to follow, her feet moving before her mind could catch up. What wonders await us? She wondered silently, her heart thumping like a drum in celebration of the unknown. The shimmering heat of the sun rose higher, casting playful beams through the leafy branches. The leaves swayed gently as if dancing in approval of what was about to unfold. Mary could feel the energy of her community behind her, the murmurs and soft gasps as they too took hesitant steps forward. They ventured into the grove, the world around them transformed into an intimate sanctuary filled with dappled light. The trees whispered secrets, their knotted trunks standing as steadfast witnesses to centuries of prayers. Strands of the past coiled around her heart, stirring memories of long-forgotten faith. The stranger halted before a clearing. "Look and behold the gifts nature has prepared," he announced, his voice enveloping them in warmth. Slowly, the villagers approached. Before them lay a vibrant field of flowers, blooming in colors that defied description. Each petal shimmered like stained glass, intricate and unique, an explosion of beauty that took their breath away. Mary was captivated, her eyes wide with wonder. "A miracle," she breathed. "Indeed," the stranger confirmed with a knowing smile. "This is the manifestation of your collective faith. Each flower represents a prayer you sent into the world, a testament to love and hope." "A garden of prayers," Martha whispered, tears welling in her eyes. The villagers stepped closer, marveling at each delicate bloom. "Will they grow forever?" A little voice piped up from the back of the crowd. It was the child who had twirled in joy moments before. The stranger knelt and gently touched a flower. "Like your faith, the flowers flourish only when nurtured. They need care, gentle hands, kind hearts, and, most importantly, the love you share among yourselves." Mary felt a spark ignite within her. This was true not just for nature, but for their community. Could the bonds they forged in prayer translate to tangible healing and unity? "What must we do?" she asked boldly, stepping forward. "How do we nurture these flowers?" "Begin by nurturing the hearts around you," he urged, looking deep into her searching eyes. "Love is a force, a garden, nourished by deeds of kindness and understanding. Share what you hold dear, and the blossoms will tell your stories." The weight of his words settled over them like a fresh rain, awakening something deep within. Each villager began to share their own memories of love and kindness, stories woven transparently into laughter and tears. From every heart, stories spilled forth like flowing rivers. There were tales of sacrifice, of neighbors helping one another, of kindness shown in times of despair. As they spoke, the flowers around them brightened, each tale adding more color and vibrancy to the field. As the sun continued to rise, the stranger's presence became a radiant beacon. Mary's spirit soared, inspired by the realization that their gathering was not just a momentary encounter but an awakening to a greater calling. Suddenly, there was a rustling in the trees behind them. A breeze swept through the clearing, carrying familiar voices, and Mary turned, her breath hitching in her throat. Who else is coming? She wondered aloud, sensing a shift, a new chapter unfurling at the edges of their reality. The stranger smiled knowingly. The community of your past is not far behind, they are part of this journey too. Life and love intertwine in ways you have yet to discover. In the shimmering light, Mary felt connection to all that had shaped them, wondering what awaited them next as shadows danced among the trees, hinting at untold stories and unimaginable blessings yet to be revealed. What truth lingered in the shadows, waiting to step into the light? As Mary stood at the edge of the clearing, the anticipation hung palpably in the air. The words of the stranger echoed in her mind, igniting a flicker of hope that compelled her to breathe deeply. What awaited them beyond the veil of leaves? The whispers from the grove grew stronger, weaving through the branches, inviting the villagers to listen. Eyes wide with curiosity, they found themselves drawn deeper into the embrace of nature's lush beauty. Shadows danced playfully on the ground, sending an enchanting message of both mystery and promise. "Let us gather close," the stranger beckoned gently. His voice floated through the air like a soothing breeze. "The warmth of your unity will light the way forward." The villagers formed a circle around him, hearts beating in rhythm like a single soul. Mary felt the press of hands beside her, a comforting reminder that they were not alone. They were a tapestry of stories and struggles, woven together by the threads of faith and love. Together, the stranger began, "You have birthed a garden of prayers. Yet, more is needed if these blossoms are to flourish. I ask you to provide one thing, your intention." The villagers shifted, exchanging glances, their expressions shifting from curiosity to contemplation. What did intention truly mean? "Intention is the seed of belief," the stranger continued, "the active engagement of your hearts towards one another and the world around you. As you share your dreams and sorrows, watch the flowers respond. Their growth reflects your light." Mary closed her eyes, allowing his words to settle into her soul. A flicker of understanding lit within. It was not merely enough to have faith, it required action, a weaving of thoughts and intentions that blossomed into existence. Suddenly, the air thickened with an electric energy. A melody, soft and sweet, seemed to weave through the clearing, emanating from the flowers themselves. With each note, the colors intensified, creating waves of brilliance that flooded Mary's senses. The petals glimmered with life, enchanted by the villagers' offerings of love. "What is this music?" one villager murmured, captivated by the ethereal sound. "It is the symphony of your hearts," the stranger replied, "playing in harmony with creation. Listen closely, it holds guidance for each of you." Mary leaned in, allowing the melody to wrap around her. The notes conveyed stories, struggles, blessings, dreams, and untold prayers. In that moment, the vastness of their past opened before her, bridging generations of hope and faith. They began to share once more. Each heart spoke, and with every confession, the blossoms swayed gently in response. Miracles began to unfurl like tender shoots reaching for the sun. Healing words swept over the community, mending invisible wounds and deepening trust. Tears flowed freely now, a testament to their awakening. Each laugh, each sorrow, interlaced with an unfathomable grace that brought joy even in the pain. Slowly, the stranger's presence grew more radiant, a clear reflection of their collective spirit. Then, just as the joy reached a crescendo, a hush fell over the grove. The trees seemed to hold their breath, and the melodies faded into a soft echo, replaced by a whispering wind that carried secrets and ancient truths. "It is time," the stranger announced, his voice now firm yet gentle. "You must decide if you wish to journey deeper into your faith. Are you ready to uncover the blessings yet veiled in your lives?" As the villagers exchanged uncertain glances, Mary felt her heart race with excitement and fear. What lay ahead? Could they truly unlock more miracles? The shadows danced again, and a new presence emerged at the edge of the clearing, a silhouette cloaked in light. Everyone turned, breath catching in their throats, hearts pounding in unison. Who was this new visitor, and what message did they bring from the unseen realm? Curiosity surged through Mary as the figure stepped forward, rising from the shadows. As the figure began to reveal itself, the air shimmered with a brilliance that momentarily blinded the villagers. Instinctively, they shielded their eyes, yet an undeniable warmth enveloped them, urging them to look again. The silhouette transformed into an exquisite being, radiant with golden light, capturing the essence of all beliefs: faith, hope, love. "Do not be afraid," the luminous figure spoke, voice resonating like a gentle river flowing through a serene valley. I am a messenger sent to guide you deeper into the sacred journey that awaits. This place is truly woven with the fabric of your prayers, and your hearts have lifted the veil. Mary felt her worries dissipate, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace. Each villager felt the approach of sweetness from the visitor, as if the very air whispered secrets meant just for them. Dear ones, the bright figure continued, you stand at a threshold. The petals of your prayers are reaching for the sunlight of truth. You now have the opportunity to unlock what lies beyond. Around her, Mary saw expressions of awe. Some gasped, others bowed their heads in humility. Each heart beat stronger now, as if the collective pulse of their faith was calling them to deeper truths. Each intention you've planted in the garden of life contains unimagined potential, the figure urged. Love is the soil from which miracles bloom. But there exists an even greater depth to your faith. Mary listened closely, feeling that familiar energy swirl. It was the rhythm of hope, swelling like the tide. What more is there? She found herself asking softly, almost breathlessly. Faith must evolve into action, the radiant being replied, gaze piercing yet comforting. Will you choose to nurture blessings that are yet unseen, to serve with love, and to trust as you venture into uncertainty? Mary's heart raced as inspiration flooded her thoughts. Here stood a chance not just to receive miracles but to become the very vessels through which they flowed. The promise echoed in her soul, by acting with unwavering faith, they could invite the divine to transform their lives, not just for themselves, but for those who surrounded them in love. With courage bubbling in her chest, Mary felt the message resonate deep within. We will. We choose action, guidance, and to walk together. Encouraged by her fervor, others began to nod, each spirit ignited with the flames of collective resolve. Let us be the light. One villager shouted, courage spilling from his heart. The figure smiled, and the grove shivered with energy, a tidal wave of love washing over them. Fragrant blossoms released their scent into the air, and with each breath, the villagers felt buoyed in divine purpose. Remember, the messenger said, to listen and trust in each other, and you will unveil not only blessings but a deepening bond of unity. Today is a beginning. As the words danced around the grove, the shadows softened, and the golden light pulsed gently like a heartbeat, echoing the villagers' resolve to embrace the path ahead. Yet just above the beauty and joy lingered a question, one that hung in the air like ripe fruit waiting to be plucked. Would they truly commit to the journey before them and dare to share their gratitude with a world in need? Mary clasped her hands to her heart, whispering a silent prayer of commitment. Little did they know, the steps they took would soon lead to a day of reckoning and revelation. As she looked up, the figure began to fade, leaving behind a glow that lit the clearing in an otherworldly manner, and in that fragile space where hope and fear intertwined, a gentle breeze swept through. The journey was just beginning, and within that breath, a new voice stirred from the depths of the woods. What more awaited them? What new message, what new guidance did fate hold? Across the waking landscape, the dawn had only just begun to break. As the glow from the luminous figure gently dissipated, a hushed reverence wrapped around the villagers. Hope fluttered in the air like fireflies, illuminating their hearts. Mary stood at the forefront, a tether between heaven and her earthly community. The lessons from the radiant messenger lingered, permeating the atmosphere with a rare tenderness. What now? Thomas murmured, breaking the silence. What next for us? Mary's heart swelled with purpose. We will nurture this garden not just with words of prayer, but with every action we take. We will be the miracle. The fire of determination ignited within them, the essence of that message taking root in their minds like seeds waiting to bloom. Slowly, one by one, the villagers began to speak, their voices rising in harmony. Let us visit our neighbors in need, called Martha, her eyes shining with zeal. And create a meal for those who are struggling, shouted Ruth, her voice warm. Let us start a community prayer circle, where every heart can share their burdens, suggested David, his youthful spirit radiating boldness. Each idea flowed from their lips, their dreams intertwining to reflect a tapestry of communal love. The morning sun illuminated their faces, warming their souls like divine confirmation of their shared purpose. In that moment, the collective power of their resolve took root, entwining them in an unbreakable bond. The sun climbed higher, casting golden rays across the field, and in that light, the vibrant flowers began to stir and sway, echoing the budding excitement within their hearts. Mary felt tears prick her eyes, a profound gratitude overcoming her. She realized they were not just awakening to miracles, they were transforming as a community, becoming vessels of light for one another. With newfound energy, they formed small groups, each tasked with different acts of kindness set to unfold. Mary felt the stirring of spirits around her friends, neighbors, even the shyest of villagers stepped forth, filled with ideas, plans, and a willingness to connect. The air buzzed around them, a hum of shared aspirations. "Can you feel it?" David said breathlessly as he grasped his mother's hand, eyes sparkling with the magic of the day. "It's like we're creating something amazing." "Yes, my love," Mary replied, squeezing his hand tightly. "This is our divine purpose unfolding." And so, the villagers ventured forth, hearts intertwined, each step a testament to their faith. Some traveled to the elderly residing on the outskirts, bringing flowers from their newly blossomed garden as gestures of hope and companionship. Others prepared meals in shared kitchens, laughter echoing through the homes as they fed both body and spirit. As the days turned into weeks, the village began to flourish. The blooms in the garden became more vibrant, each petal glowing with the stories of their shared labor, each act of kindness infusing the air with warmth. Neighbors previously solitary began to bond. They gathered recklessly in joyful celebration, honoring the commitment they made to each other and the sacred connection birthed through that luminous figure's visit. Each evening, under the soft blanket of twilight, they would gather beside the St. Agnes shrine, their prayers not merely spoken but lived out in every interaction, transforming their village into a sanctuary of love. The divine ripple of change burgeoned through their community, radiating outward like waves echoing through eternity. Then, one crisp evening, as the sky blushed with colors of dusk, Mary felt the stirring again. The air shimmered, a familiar gentle breeze whispering through the trees. She drew in a breath, her heart racing. Was it a premonition? Would the divine grace manifest once more among them? As if in answer to her prayer, there in the garden stood that radiant figure again, smiling with profound peace. The villagers gathered quickly, a collective gasp of astonished joy filling the air as they witnessed a miracle anew. "Dear ones," the figure spoke, voice wrapped in warmth, echoing through their spirits. "You have awakened to the truth that love is the key that opens doors unseen. Your actions have sown seeds far beyond this village, expanding the garden of faith across realms. Yet it will take continued care and kindness to maintain this sacred space. Will you, with open hearts, continue on this path?" "Yes." The villagers chorused, voices rising in unison. "Then let your light shine. Share your stories, your struggles, and your joys. You are the gardeners of this reality, and together, you can lead others to profound awakenings." With those words, the figure lifted their hands, and a wave of golden light enveloped the villagers, swirling around them, a reminder of the divine bond that tied them to each other and to the greater tapestry of creation. As the vision faded, Mary stood, heart ablaze with love and purpose. Transformation had taken root, and they were now living testimonies of the miraculous. "Now," she said, turning to the villagers glowing with devotion, "let us carry forth this light not just for ourselves, but for every soul we encounter. There's a world waiting for this message of faith." Together, they declared, linking their hands as one, a unified body bound by unwavering conviction and love. And so, with hearts ignited, they ventured forth into the dawn, a chorus of faith rippling through valleys and hills, sending out waves of divine love that would forever change their community and beyond. This was their journey of awakening, where miracles flowed like rivers, where every act of kindness bore fruit, and where the true power of unity reigned, wrapping around them like an embrace from the Heavenly Father himself. Now, dear viewer, are you ready to be part of this beautiful tapestry? Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that will ignite your spirit. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread the light of these incredible tales. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this ending, as your stories are essential to our shared path. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of divine purpose. Don't wait even one more second. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting this channel through these actions. Be part of making a difference today.